every night, I find myself trapped in a recurring dream, a haunting vision that unfolds with unsettling clarity. In this nocturnal realm, I wander the ancient streets of Kyoto beneath a sky bathed in a foreboding shade of red. The city pulses with an eerie glow, casting long, ominous shadows upon the cobblestones. As I traverse this surreal landscape, I notice a palpable tension in the air. People rush past me, their faces etched with fear, their hurried steps echoing against the ancient stones. The sound of screeching tires and distant shouts pierces the night. It's a city in the grip of chaos, and I am merely a spectral observer, weightless, yet anchored to this dreamlike reality. Suddenly, amidst the pandemonium, my attention is drawn to a peculiar sight, a strange amorphous creature hovering in the scarlet-lit sky. It resembles a moving, breathing mass of black smoke, undulating and shifting with an otherworldly grace. Fear takes hold as the creature drifts closer, its form twisting and morphing in grotesque patterns. I am frozen in place, unable to tear my gaze away from this unsettling apparition. The air grows heavy, charged with an unnatural energy as the creature approaches with purpose. My heart races and a chill seeps into my bones. Just as I feel the weight of its presence upon my soul, the creature dissolves into the crimson haze, leaving me gasping for breath. As I wake from the unsettling dream, the details begin to fade like wisps of smoke, slipping through my grasp. Yet, a profound sense of unease remains, lingering like a shadow in the corners of my mind. I feel a weight on my chest, an inexplicable sorrow that threatens to engulf me. Though the specifics of the dream elude me, an overwhelming urge to cry washes over me. It's as if my subconscious holds onto emotions I cannot consciously recall. I sit up in bed, bewildered by this inexplicable melancholy, my heart heavy with a sadness I struggle to comprehend. The morning light filters through the curtains, casting soft rays across the room. Outside, the world awakens to a new day, oblivious to the turmoil within. I try to shake off the remnants of the night's journey into the surreal, but the emotional residue clings to me like a haunting melody. As I gather my thoughts and prepare to face the day, I wonder about the mysteries of the subconscious. What truths lie hidden behind the veils of forgotten dreams, and what emotions linger long after the visions fade? The dream may be lost to memory, but its echoes resonate within, leaving me to navigate the day with a heavy heart and a sense of yearning for answers I cannot grasp. I wake up to the soft glow of morning seeping through my curtains, signaling the start of another day in Kyoto. Rolling out of bed, I stretch my limbs and yawn, feeling the remnants of sleep dissipate as I gather my thoughts. Today promises to be like any other school day, yet a sense of anticipation lingers in the air. Heading downstairs to the cozy kitchen, I'm greeted by the familiar aroma of freshly made Japanese pancakes. My mother, clad in a traditional yukata, is already busy at work, flipping pancakes on the griddle with practiced ease. "Morning, Mom." I greet her with a smile, taking in the comforting scene of our home bathed in morning light. "Good morning, dear," she replies, returning my smile. "I made your favorite pancakes. Eat up before heading to school." I eagerly take a seat at the table as my mother places a plate of fluffy pancakes in front of me. The sight of golden pancakes topped with a generous drizzle of maple syrup instantly lifts my spirits. I dig into the delicious breakfast, savoring each bite. The pancakes are warm and satisfying, the perfect start to a Kyoto morning. As I eat, I steal glances out the window, admiring the traditional architecture of our neighborhood, the tiled roofs, wooden facades, and well-tended gardens. After finishing my meal, I thank my mother for the wonderful breakfast. Instead of heading straight to school, I decide to follow my curiosity and explore the source of a mysterious red glow I spotted in the hills yesterday. Leaving my bike parked by the gate, I set out towards the hills. The morning air is cool and crisp, carrying the faint scent of cherry blossoms. The path winds upward, offering glimpses of Kyoto's sprawling cityscape below. As I reach the crest of the hill, I am greeted by the sight of an abandoned school building, nestled among overgrown trees and bushes. The structure stands silent and eerie, its windows darkened and its facade weathered by time. A large tree has fallen against the entrance, its gnarled branches blocking the doorway. Undeterred, a surge of determination propels me forward. Setting my bike aside, I approach the fallen tree and begin to push it aside, the rough bark scraping against my palms. With a final heave, the tree yields, clearing a path to the door. I stand before the entrance, a mix of excitement and trepidation coursing through me. The air feels charged with history and mystery, beckoning me to step inside and uncover its secrets. Just as I'm about to cross the threshold into the unknown, my phone buzzes in my pocket, startling me out of my reverie. I check the notification. It's a reminder that I have only 20 minutes left until class starts. Reluctantly, I realize I can't afford to explore further at this moment. With a mixture of disappointment and resolve, I take one last look at the abandoned school, promising myself to return another time. Returning to my bike, I pedal back towards the main road that leads to school. The image of the mysterious building lingers in my mind, its secrets still tantalizingly out of reach. As I ride through the waking streets of Kyoto, the city begins to stir with the energy of a new day. Shopkeepers open their stores, arranging displays of goods that catch the eye. A tea shop emanates the aroma of freshly brewed matcha, while a nearby pottery store showcases beautifully crafted ceramic pieces. Further down the road, a bustling market offers an array of colorful fruits and vegetables, and a kimono shop reveals rows of exquisite silk garments. Despite the distractions, my mind keeps returning to the mysteries of the abandoned school. The allure of exploration tugs at me, promising adventure amidst the routine of daily life. Arriving at the school grounds, I lock up my bike and join the stream of students making their way to class. The reminder of the abandoned school lingers in the back of my mind, a puzzle waiting to be solved when the time is right. As I settle into my seat in the classroom, the morning light filtering through the windows casts a serene glow over the rows of desks. The usual hum of pre-class chatter fills the air, a comfortable routine that belies the unexpected turn about to unfold. Suddenly, a ripple of electronic alerts echoes throughout the room as every phone comes alive simultaneously. Screens illuminate with urgent notifications. Earthquake warning. Moderate tremor imminent. Take cover immediately. The classroom erupts into controlled chaos. Chairs screech against the floor as students swiftly duck under desks and seek shelter beneath sturdy tabletops. I join them, my heart pounding with a mixture of apprehension and readiness. The initial tremor arrives as a faint vibration beneath our feet, gradually intensifying into a noticeable sway. Above us, the light fixtures swing gently, casting eerie shadows across the walls. Outside, distant voices and the sounds of hurried preparations mingle with the building's creaks and groans. Despite the reassuring nature of the alert, a palpable tension permeates the air. I steal a glance at my classmates. Their faces are a mix of concern and curiosity, each reflecting the gravity of this familiar yet unsettling experience. The trembling escalates momentarily, causing a few books to tumble from shelves and pencils to roll off desks. The teacher, usually composed and unflappable, directs us to remain low and stay put until further notice. Her voice, though steady, carries an undercurrent of urgency. Minutes stretch by, marked by the persistent tremor. We wait, suspended in a collective moment of uncertainty. Through the window, I catch glimpses of swaying trees and distant rooftops, reminders of the Earth's power. Gradually, the tremor diminishes, leaving behind a sense of relief tinged with lingering unease. The emergency alert updates on our phones. Earthquake subsiding. All clear. With a collective exhale, we emerge cautiously from our sheltered positions. The classroom buzzes with relieved conversation, a mixture of nervous laughter and eager discussions about earthquake preparedness. As the morning resumes, the incident lingers in the backdrop of daily life. Lessons continue, albeit against a subtly altered atmosphere. Outside the window, fallen leaves rustle in the aftermath of the quake, a reminder of nature's unpredictability. Yet amid the return to routine, thoughts of the abandoned school resurface, its mystery amplified by the Earth's subtle tremors. I ponder the secrets concealed within its neglected corridors and forgotten classrooms. The allure of exploration tugs at me once more, intertwined with the day's lessons and the transient buzz of aftershocks. For now, I focus on the tasks at hand, knowing that the mysteries of Kyoto beckon beyond the confines of the classroom. A testament to the ceaseless curiosity that fuels our journey through the unknown. After the morning's unsettling earthquake and the eventual return to class, I settled back into the rhythm of the school day. The aftershocks lingered in my thoughts, a reminder of nature's unpredictable presence. As classes resumed, I immersed myself in assignments and discussions, trying to shake off the lingering unease. A couple of hours passed, and soon it was lunchtime. I headed to the cafeteria with my friends, our conversation light and animated. But as I scanned the bustling lunch area, my gaze fell upon an unexpected sight. Mr. Tanaka striding purposefully toward me, his expression unusually stern. "Kosuke, can I speak with you for a moment?" Mr. Tanaka's voice cut through the din of the cafeteria. Concerned by the seriousness in his tone, I excused myself from my friends and followed Mr. Tanaka to a quieter corner of the cafeteria. "Is everything okay, Mr. Tanaka?" I asked, trying to mask my apprehension. Mr. Tanaka's usually genial demeanor was replaced by a furrowed brow. "Kosuke, I need to discuss something important with you," he began, his voice low yet firm. I nodded, my curiosity piqued and a knot of unease forming in my stomach. "There have been reports of vandalism in the school library during the morning," Mr. Tanaka continued, his tone heavy with displeasure. "Certain books were found defaced and torn." My heart sank as I realized where this conversation was heading. Memories of my encounter with Rina resurfaced, and I braced myself for what was to come. "Kosuke, I need to ask you directly, were you in the library this morning during the earthquake?" Mr. Tanaka's gaze bore into mine, searching for answers. "No, Mr. Tanaka, I wasn't," I replied earnestly, trying to convey my innocence. "I was in class during and after the earthquake. I didn't visit the library at all today." Mr. Tanaka regarded me skeptically, his expression tight with concern. "I see," he murmured, clearly torn between belief and duty. "Someone must have mistaken me for someone else," I offered, hoping to alleviate the suspicion hanging over me. Mr. Tanaka sighed heavily, his frustration evident. "Kosuke, I want to believe you, but these reports are serious. The school takes such matters very seriously." Feeling unfairly targeted yet determined to defend myself, I met Mr. Tanaka's gaze squarely. "I understand, Mr. Tanaka, but I swear I had nothing to do with what happened in the library." Mr. Tanaka's expression softened slightly, a hint of understanding dawning in his eyes. "I'll investigate further, Kosuke," he assured me. "For now, I urge you to cooperate fully if I have any more questions." Relieved that Mr. Tanaka was willing to delve deeper, I nodded gratefully. "Of course, Mr. Tanaka. I appreciate your understanding." With a nod of dismissal, Mr. Tanaka left me standing in the cafeteria, my mind racing with a mix of frustration and determination. Once again, I found myself embroiled in a situation not of my making, unjustly accused and left to defend my honor. As I returned to my friends, their concerned gazes met mine. I reassured them with a strained smile, pushing aside the weight of suspicion that now hung over me. After the unsettling encounter with Mr. Tanaka in the cafeteria, I rejoined my friends at our usual lunch table. Their concerned expressions mirrored my own inner turmoil, but I appreciated their unwavering support. "Kosuke, what did Mr. Tanaka want?" asked Hiroshi, his brow furrowed with worry. "He mentioned something about vandalism in the library," I replied, my voice tinged with frustration. "Apparently, someone saw me there during the earthquake." Mika, ever perceptive, leaned forward. "But that's impossible. You were in class the whole time." "I know," I sighed, pushing my food around absent-mindedly. "I don't understand how someone could mistake me for the culprit." Yuki, the pragmatic one among us, spoke up. "Maybe it was just a case of mistaken identity. People can look similar from a distance, especially during an earthquake." Hiroshi nodded in agreement. "Yeah, maybe someone just saw someone who looked like you and assumed it was you." My thoughts churned as I considered their words. "But who else could it have been?" I wondered aloud. Mika shrugged. "Maybe someone new to the school? Or someone who resembles you from behind?" Yuki's eyes lit up with realization. "Remember that transfer student who joined last week? What was his name? Haruto?" "Yeah, Haruto," Hiroshi chimed in. "I've seen him around. He does kind of look like you from behind." The mention of Haruto sparked my interest. I hadn't interacted much with him, but I recalled seeing him in passing, a tall, slender figure with a similar haircut to mine. "You think it could have been Haruto?" I asked, intrigued by the possibility. "It's a theory worth considering," Mika replied thoughtfully. "Maybe someone saw him in the library during the chaos and mistook him for you." "Mr. Tanaka should look into this," Hiroshi suggested. If there's someone else who resembles you, it could clear up this misunderstanding. Encouraged by my friend's insights, I felt a glimmer of hope amidst the uncertainty. Perhaps Haruto's resemblance to me had inadvertently caused the mix-up. During our free period, Mika spotted Haruki heading towards the library. "There he goes," she whispered to us. "Let's follow him discreetly." Curious and determined, we trailed Haruki into the library, careful not to draw attention. He browsed through the shelves, occasionally pulling out books to inspect. "Maybe we should approach him and ask indirectly," Yuki suggested. As we approached Haruki, he turned to us with a friendly smile. "Hey, Kosuke, what's up?" "Hey, Haruki," I replied casually. "Just looking for a book for our next assignment. How about you?" "By the way," Mika chimed in, "were you here during the earthquake?" Haruki paused, looking slightly surprised by the question. "Yeah, I was. Why do you ask?" "We heard there was confusion about someone being mistaken for Kosuke during that time," Hiroshi explained. Haruki's eyes widened slightly. "Wow, really? That's interesting. I was definitely here during the earthquake. But hey, Kosuke, I've got to say, we do look alike, don't we? Although I think I have a slightly smaller nose than yours." The revelation caught me off guard, and I couldn't help but smile. "Yeah, you're right. There is a resemblance." Later that afternoon, I found myself outside Mr. Tanaka's office once again, this time accompanied by my friends. "Mr. Tanaka," I began as we entered, "we have some new information regarding the library incident." In unison, we recounted our encounter with Haruki and his confirmation of being in the library during the earthquake. Mr. Tanaka listened attentively, nodding as we spoke. "Thank you for bringing this to my attention. I'll follow up with Haruki and investigate further." Relief washed over me as I absorbed his words. The truth had prevailed, and my name was cleared. "Thank you, Mr. Tanaka," I replied gratefully. "And thank you to my friends for their support throughout this." After leaving Mr. Tanaka's office with a sense of relief, I couldn't shake the thought of Haruki's confession about being in the library during the earthquake. His resemblance to me and his surprising revelation fueled my curiosity. That afternoon, as school ended and students began to disperse, I made my way purposefully towards the front entrance. I had a feeling that I needed to talk to Haruki again, this time more candidly. As I approached the front door, I spotted Haruki standing near the steps, seemingly lost in thought. Taking a deep breath, I walked up to him. "Hey, Haruki," I greeted him, trying to sound friendly yet sincere. Haruki looked up, a bit startled. "Oh, hey, Kosuke, what's up?" I hesitated for a moment before speaking. "I've been thinking about our conversation earlier, about the library incident." Haruki's expression shifted, and he glanced at me with a mixture of curiosity and apprehension. "Yeah? What about it?" "I believe you, Haruki," I said earnestly. "I know you were there during the earthquake, and I want to understand more about what happened." Haruki seemed taken aback by my words, but he didn't look defensive. "Why are you so interested?" "Because I think there's more to it than meets the eye," I explained. "Maybe you were feeling alone or misunderstood. Did something happen that made you feel this way?" Haruki hesitated, then sighed. "I guess I've been struggling to fit in since I transferred here. It gets lonely sometimes." "I get it," I replied sympathetically. "But you don't have to go through this alone, Haruki. We can be friends if you want." Haruki's eyes widened, clearly surprised by my offer. Then a genuine smile spread across his face. "Really? You'd be my friend?" "Absolutely," I affirmed. "Everyone deserves a chance to be understood and accepted. Let's start fresh as friends." Haruki's smile grew wider, and without hesitation, he pulled me into a hug. "Thank you, Kosuke. I really needed this." As we stood there, embracing in front of the school, I felt a sense of connection and purpose. Haruki and I had crossed a bridge together, leaving behind misunderstandings and suspicions. Our newfound friendship was built on empathy and openness, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. From that day onward, Haruki and I became true friends. We supported each other, shared laughs, and discovered common interests. As I pedal away on my bike, relieved to have left Haruki behind, I now faced the challenge of navigating the bustling streets to get home safely. The traffic was heavy, and I had to be cautious as I weaved through the moving cars and pedestrians. As I pedaled down the familiar street, my attention was unexpectedly drawn towards the old, abandoned classroom nearby. Despite feeling a bit nervous about what I might encounter inside, my curiosity overpowered any hesitation. Before I knew it, I found myself at the entrance of the decrepit building, my bike leaning against a nearby post. The inside of the classroom was dark and musty, illuminated only by faint sunlight filtering through the grimy windows. Cobwebs draped across desks and chairs, shrouding the room in an eerie silence. My eyes fell upon a chair lying on the ground, one of its legs broken and missing. Cobwebs enveloped the chair, adding to its ghostly appearance. I couldn't help but wonder about the chair's history, how it came to be abandoned in this forgotten place, and what had happened to its missing leg. Stepping cautiously over the creaky wooden floor, I explored further, my senses on high alert. The air was thick with the scent of mildew and decay. Cobwebs adorned every corner, hinting at years of neglect. Suddenly, a noise from behind an old cupboard caught my attention. I approached cautiously and swung open the cupboard door. To my surprise, a white cat emerged, wearing a key around its neck. The cat gazed at me with piercing blue eyes, as if beckoning me to follow. Intrigued, I began to follow the mysterious cat as it darted out of the classroom. However, as I stepped outside, I felt a strange shift in reality. Suddenly, I found myself standing in a dense, unfamiliar forest. The old classroom was nowhere in sight, and the doorway I had exited from had vanished. Panicking, I looked around frantically, trying to make sense of my surroundings. The woods were enveloped in darkness, illuminated only by the dim light filtering through the thick canopy above. The eerie silence was broken only by the rustling of leaves in the wind. Feeling disoriented and alone, I realized I was lost. There were no recognizable landmarks to guide me, and the disorienting darkness of the forest amplified my growing sense of unease. I wondered if the white cat had led me into this bewildering wilderness, or if its appearance was merely coincidental. With each passing moment, my anxiety mounted. I struggled to maintain composure, but the daunting reality of being stranded in an unfamiliar forest began to weigh heavily on me. I knew I had to find a way out, but the task seemed insurmountable in the midst of such darkness and solitude. I boarded the bus, feeling a mix of bewilderment and disbelief. Standing at the back, I couldn't shake the surreal sight before me. Two pigs walking onto the bus with an air of nonchalance, yet undeniably pigs. "What the?" I muttered, my words trailing off as the pigs fixed their gaze on me. Their curious expressions seemed to question my reaction, leaving me feeling like the odd one out. Attempting to compose myself, I decided to play it cool despite the absurdity of the situation. However, the talking pigs weren't helping my sense of reality. They broke the silence. "Who are you?" one of them inquired. Startled yet again, I stammered, I'm a human." The pigs exchanged glances, as though my response puzzled them. Amid the bizarre dialogue, I couldn't help but feel a growing sense of urgency. The pig's next question only deepened my confusion. "How did you get here?" In a rush, I explained my strange journey, trailing the white cat into the woods, the disappearance of the classroom door, each word sounding more surreal as it left my lips. The pigs exchanged solemn looks, their expressions shifting with a mix of empathy and resignation. "This world is dangerous," one pig cautioned, "and escaping isn't easy. Many of us, like me and my friend here, were unable to find a way out in time." Their words echoed with a sense of finality. I absorbed the gravity of my predicament, realizing the urgency of finding the white cat, the elusive key to escape. As the pigs concluded their warning, a newfound determination surged within me. This wasn't a dream or a hallucination. It was a reality I had stumbled into, a reality that demanded action. "I have to find that white cat," I resolved aloud, determined to navigate this strange world and find my way back home. As I contemplated the whereabouts of the white cat gazing out the bus window, my attention was drawn to a girl sitting alone on a bench, tears streaming down her face. A surge of empathy compelled me to act. "Stop the bus!" I exclaimed abruptly to the startled driver. The bus screeched to a halt, and I hurried off, making my way to the girl on the bench. She appeared a few years older than me, her sorrow palpable as she stared despondently at the ground. "Are you okay?" I asked softly, concern evident in my voice. She looked up with reddened eyes, visibly distressed as she explained her predicament. finding herself in this strange world after seeking solace in an abandoned classroom. Listening intently, I couldn't help but feel a sense of shared experience. Her story mirrored mine, a testament to the mysterious connection between us and the elusive white cat. "Have you seen the white cat?" I inquired, hoping for a clue. She nodded, her expression filled with uncertainty. "Yes, but I don't know where it went." My heart sank slightly at the realization that our key to escape remained elusive. Undeterred, I pressed on, hoping for guidance. "Do you know how to get out of here?" Fumiko shook her head, her fear palpable. We exchanged names, hers Fumiko and mine Kosuke, a bond forming amid the uncertainty. Desperate to offer comfort, I asked, "How can I help you, Fumiko?" Her tears continued to flow, her anguish raw and heartbreaking. Feeling helpless, I resolved to take action. "Screw it, let's go for a walk," I suggested, hoping to distract her from her worries. Fumiko nodded gratefully, a glimmer of hope in her eyes as she asked timidly, "Can I be your friend? I don't have any." "Of course," I replied warmly, sensing the significance of our newfound companionship in this strange world. Together, we walked along the roadside, scanning signs for any indication of escape. The silence between us was companionable, each step a testament to our shared determination. Amid our journey, I noticed Fumiko's distinct school uniform, a stark reminder of our disparate origins. Curiosity tugged at me, prompting me to inquire about her school in Tokyo. The revelation sparked a sense of camaraderie. We were both students from different parts of Japan, united in our surreal circumstances. Recalling her encounter with the white cat mirrored mine, a curious link between our fates. Lost in thought, I paused, drawing Fumiko's attention. With a gentle gesture, I wiped away her tears, hoping to offer solace. Fumiko's gratitude was palpable, her eyes meeting mine with newfound trust. In that moment, I felt a surge of determination to guide us both to safety. As we walked, a sign pointing to a nearby train station caught our attention, a beacon of hope amidst the uncertainty. Boarding the train, we encountered a ticket collector with a striking resemblance to a wolf. His ominous words gave us pause, warning that the train would not lead us home. "The white cat holds the key," he affirmed, echoing our earlier sentiments. Realization dawned. We needed to find the cat before it was too late. Seeking answers, I asked the ticket collector about the cat's last sighting. He consulted his phone, the suspense palpable as we awaited his response. "The white cat was last seen in Osaka, but the exact location is unknown," he revealed. Time was of the essence. A sense of urgency fueled our determination. Graciously, the ticket collector handed us a sum of money, offering reassurance. "Just beyond this stop, you'll encounter a creature with a watch," he explained, providing a glimmer of hope. Armed with newfound resolve, Fumiko and I braced ourselves for the next leg of our journey, determined to find the white cat and unlock the path back to reality. We disembarked from the train simultaneously, sprinting towards the creature adorned with the watch. Time felt scarce as Fumiko and I hurriedly approached. Without delay, I purchased the watch and secured it around my wrist. Racing through the streets of Osaka, a sense of urgency consumed us. Despite our frantic search, the elusive white cat remained elusive. Doubts crept in. I questioned whether we were in the right place, anxiety gnawing at me as I feared time slipping away. Glancing at the watch, I was astonished to discover we had a mere 3 days left. Urgency fueled our determination, driving us to scour the area in a desperate quest to locate the white cat. Amid the chaos, an idea struck me, a plan to maximize our chances. We agreed to split up, each taking a different sector of Osaka to search. The hope was that dividing our efforts would expedite our search for the white cat, guided by the countdown displayed on the watch. I just remembered that my phone was dead, leaving us unable to check the time or anything else. Recalling our mission, I pondered splitting up to cover more ground. I dashed around Osaka, hoping to spot any signs of it. Finally, I glimpsed a white tail and my excitement surged. However, as I turned the corner, I saw it was a white dog, not what we sought. Disappointed, I pressed on. As the day slipped away, frustration grew that we hadn't located it. Concerned we'd run out of time, we nearly gave up when a woman who oddly resembled a dog invited us for dinner and offered us shelter for the night. With no other options, I accepted gratefully. "Thank you so much." "No problem at all. I couldn't leave you two out here in the freezing cold," she replied kindly. Fumiko and I followed her down an alleyway, passing numerous shops, including a manga store adjacent to a restaurant. Mangas, with their imaginative stories, always captivated me, sparking thoughts about my future. Arriving at her house, we ascended stone steps. The woman smiled warmly as she opened the door, ushering us inside swiftly before locking up. Fumiko and I exchanged glances, unsure what to make of our host. Inside her living room and dining area, we sat down to dinner with the woman. It felt a bit odd dining with someone who looked like a dog, but we were grateful for the meal and her kindness. Relieved to have a place to stay, I hoped this rest would aid our search the next day. The woman mentioned having only one guest bed available. I only have one room left with a single bed, so I hope you two don't mind sharing. I quickly questioned, "Is that okay? Fumiko's a girl and I'm a boy. How is that even allowed?" She suggested we share without issue. I expressed my discomfort, but ultimately had no other choice. I hoped Fumiko wouldn't mind sharing the bed. I asked Fumiko if she was okay with the arrangement, and she nodded. "I'm fine with that," she replied. She seemed a bit surprised, but her calm demeanor eased my nerves. I didn't want her to feel pressured or uncomfortable. Hoping for a good night's sleep, I felt relieved. Later, Fumiko asked if I was nervous about sharing the bed since she was a girl. Embarrassed, I admitted, "Yeah, I am a bit nervous. I've never shared a bed with a girl before." She smiled kindly. "I hope you don't mind, Fumiko." I hoped our night would go smoothly, realizing Fumiko noticed my shyness around girls. I hadn't interacted much with girls before, so I felt a bit awkward, but tried to act naturally, hoping Fumiko understood. Fumiko started giggling when I blushed, reassuring me, "Hey, don't worry, okay? We don't have any other options." She leaned over for a moment and broke the silence. "Don't worry, my best friend." She comforted me, saying we both just wanted to return to our world. I felt relieved by her understanding and hoped our night sharing a bed would go smoothly. Suddenly, the woman motioned for me to follow her into the kitchen alone, making me a bit nervous. Once there, she asked if I had feelings for Fumiko beyond friendship. Embarrassed, I blushed, realizing she had picked up on my feelings. I didn't know what to say, but I nodded and admitted I liked Fumiko more than just as a friend. The woman encouraged me to ask Fumiko out when I had the chance, but I hesitated, unsure of her feelings. I wanted to get to know Fumiko better first and avoid making things awkward between us. I felt nervous, but hoped the woman was right about Fumiko's potential positive response. Returning to where Fumiko was eating, I noticed her savoring the food, which made me even more nervous knowing we'd be sharing a bed. The thought was exciting yet nerve-wracking. I wanted everything to go smoothly and hoped not to ruin the night. Observing Fumiko's happier demeanor, I wondered if my presence had influenced her mood positively. I felt relieved, hoping to make her happy and determined not to disappoint her. Despite lingering nerves, I started feeling more confident. As we sat down to eat, I focused on my food, hoping to ease my nerves. Seeing Fumiko's excitement for our sleepover lifted my spirits. I hoped the night would be enjoyable and provide an opportunity to bond with Fumiko. I realized referring to it as a sleepover felt more relaxing than acknowledging we'd be sleeping together. This perspective helped ease my nerves, and I began feeling genuinely excited about the night ahead. Midway through eating, Fumiko suddenly jumped up and hugged me tightly, catching me off guard. Surprised, I reciprocated the hug, feeling the warmth of her embrace. I sensed a strong connection with Fumiko, a moment of genuine closeness. Fumiko expressed her happiness, claiming she had never felt this way before with a friend. Her words touched me, and I felt proud to bring her joy. It seemed like our friendship was becoming deeply meaningful to her, and I hoped our bond would continue to grow. Later, when Fumiko checked her phone, I noticed the year displayed as 2027, while my world was still in 2024. This discrepancy puzzled and unsettled me. I hoped we could find a way back to my world, unsure how the timelines had diverged. Confirming with Fumiko that it was indeed 2027 for her too, I struggled to grasp the situation. I felt like I was losing my mind, needing reassurance that this was real and not my imagination running wild. Fumiko confirmed that for her, it was 2027, but for me, it remained 2024. I felt even more confused now, unable to comprehend how this could be possible. I struggled with the sensation that I might be losing my mind and yearned for more clarity on the situation. I attempted to devise any possible explanations for this phenomenon. The woman quickly intervened, soothing both of us and explaining that there was a purpose behind our presence in the same room. While unsure of the reason herself, she expressed confidence that it would eventually become clear. I felt a bit relieved by her assurance, hoping she was correct. Despite pondering alternative explanations, none seemed to fit. I placed my trust in the woman's explanation, yearning for understanding. The woman then escorted both of us to our room and asked Fumiko if she wanted to take a shower first. I found this surprising, but opted not to interfere with their conversation, choosing instead to sit on the bed and await Fumiko's decision. Fumiko gestured towards me and suggested that I should take a shower first. I was taken aback by her choice, assuming she would prefer to go first. I wondered about her reasoning and felt a bit nervous at the prospect of showering before her. I silently hoped she would explain her decision, awaiting her clarification. Fumiko clarified that I was her lifelong best friend, which was why she wanted me to go first. Her words touched me deeply, sensing her kindness and consideration. She apologized for any confusion and clarified that she meant I should have my turn first for privacy. Though slightly embarrassed, I appreciated her thoughtfulness, feeling grateful for her effort to ensure my comfort and privacy. Reflecting on Fumiko, I realized she often remained mysterious, her thoughts not always easily discernible. Intrigued by her enigmatic nature, I looked forward to unraveling more layers of her personality and exploring the depths of our friendship. Just as I was about to open the bedroom door, Fumiko alerted me that she was changing. Feeling embarrassed, I quickly withdrew my hand from the door handle, waiting for her signal to enter. I hoped she wouldn't take too long, feeling a mix of nerves and excitement about being alone with Fumiko. Finally, Fumiko announced she was done changing, and I entered the room. I noticed she was wearing a nightgown, which surprised me. I wondered where she had gotten it and why she had chosen to wear it. Though I felt awkward, I made an effort not to stare, waiting for her to speak. Fumiko mentioned having another nightgown, but it was intended for girls. This admission made me feel a bit uncomfortable and unsure of how to respond. I wondered why she was bringing this up and hoped she would change the subject, wondering what she wanted to do next. Fumiko's suggestion that I wear a pink nightgown caught me off guard, and I felt a rush of embarrassment and uncertainty. It seemed inappropriate to don a girl's nightgown, but Fumiko insisted, explaining she didn't want to see me shirtless. Reluctantly, to avoid any awkwardness, I agreed and quickly changed, feeling uncomfortable with someone else in the room. Realizing Fumiko was trapped in the bedroom due to a forgotten lock, I empathized with her plight. Helping her onto the bed, I noticed her exhaustion and wariness. As she leaned into me, seeking support, I gently assisted her and tucked her in, feeling a sense of responsibility and satisfaction in being able to help. Climbing into bed beside her, I turned away, unsure of the situation, until Fumiko tapped my shoulder and asked to cuddle. Surprised by her request, especially on our first day of meeting, I sensed her need for comfort and agreed, feeling a deep connection as we embraced. While we cuddled, my thoughts wandered to Fumiko's mysterious nature and her cryptic actions. Despite my confusion, I found solace in her presence, feeling a special bond between us grow stronger. Later that night, as sleep enveloped me, I slipped into a surreal and vivid dream. The sky above was a chaotic canvas, with cars crashing into each other, their metal frames twisting and turning amidst a backdrop of swirling fractals. Unlike before, there was no smoke-breathing creature, but instead, a kaleidoscope of colors and shapes danced before my eyes. As the dream unfolded, the surroundings began to morph and shift, as if reality itself was unraveling. Frills of fabric billowed like sails on an otherworldly ship, and I found myself navigating through this ethereal seascape. Strange whispers filled the air, carrying echoes of distant voices and unknown languages. In the midst of this dream world, I felt a sense of awe and wonder, mingled with a touch of apprehension. It was as though I had stepped into a realm where the rules of physics and perception no longer applied. Waking to find Fumiko's head resting on my chest, I greeted her softly. "Good morning, Fumiko." Her sudden apology for her position left me perplexed, especially as she placed her hands on my shoulders. Sensing her touch becoming too intimate, I wondered about her intentions and the dynamic between us. Fumiko leaned in close, whispering urgently about finding a missing cat, a seemingly trivial matter given her emotional distress. As she began to cry, I realized something deeper was troubling her beyond the surface. Understanding her fear of not making it out alive, I reassured her, "There's no point in giving up if we haven't tried. We're going to make it out of here. I can feel it happening." I held her tightly, offering my support and encouraging her not to lose hope. As we talked, Fumiko seemed to embrace the challenge ahead, finding renewed determination and a glimmer of optimism. Reflecting on our progress together, I felt a sense of accomplishment, knowing I was making a positive impact on her outlook. Despite the uncertainty of our circumstances, I believed in our ability to persevere through the challenges we faced.